Hey everybody, welcome back to Gaming with Knock. I'm Knock, your host. If this is your first time here, please do hit subscribe so you know about the new videos when we put them out. And if you're a returning visitor, hey, thanks for coming back. So this week we've had clan games going on, and my crew wrapped it up yesterday. Had had a good time with this one. I love the way they changed the format a little bit. The rewards are really nice. They've broken the tiers up a little bit better, I think. Having all three of the books in one, all three of the potions in another, and then one each for the resources or gems, whichever you prefer. And the numbers are nice too. Although I found out today that the amount of resources that you get is actually tied to your game level. So, like for example, I'm a 157 on this particular game, and because of that, I'm getting 1,444,000 on gold and elixir, and 7,200 on the dark elixir. I've got another friend, a fellow gasp, if you will, who has a higher level on her game, and she's got much more than this. So interesting the way they kind of tiered that out. It works. It works well. I mean, it's good that each one of the different levels gets more or less, because let's face it, at Town Hall 11, if you were to give me what, say, a Town Hall 6 cut, that would just be horrible. I mean, I might as well not even play except to get the books and the potions. So that's pretty cool. I'm liking that. I also noticed that with the rewards, unclaimed rewards will be lost after 7 days. I didn't see that in the little tutorial card thing here that they've got until just today. So keep that in mind if you're playing. Get your rewards right away, because if you don't, in 7 days, they're forfeit. Something else that was really cool about this new run of tasks, we had 400% tasks. They were 12 stars in multiplayer, 800% in versus. I think there was 12 stars in versus, destroy 9 inferno towers, things like that. I absolutely positively cleaned up on those. Cleaned up on them across all my games. It was awesome. It was so nice. And of course, 2,500 points per individual. That really works out well too. Flipping over to the builder base. Been working on this one a lot. You can see I've got everything done now. Last troop upgrade is underway, the baby dragons. I've got 3 wall segments done as level 6. So kind of stoked about that. Happy to see that. Been working really hard on this, and all the games really that I've been playing, but this one it's my flagship game, so it's the one that I play the most on. The base that I've got up on the screen, that is my current Steady Eddie base, if you will, my standard. I've been running this one maybe a week or so, I guess. I don't know, something like that. In addition to this one, I have a few others, and if you watch closely as I edit this video here in a little bit, you'll be able to see those, and hey, feel free to grab a copy if you want, right? So let's get a couple replays going here. Now, you guys know I've been trying to learn these ground attacks, and the ones that I'm starting off with right now is a combination of Raged Barbarians and Cannon Carts. And I tell you, he makes this thing look easy. Like there's nothing to it. In this particular one, Stuffs uses the bombers to break through the walls. And as I've been tinkering with it, and I've seen it played a little bit, there's another version of this I think they just call it Barks, where you don't use a bomber. Instead, you take another camp of Raged Barbarians. And I've been kind of fiddling around a little bit with that, trying to get the hang of it. Not doing too bad. The key thing to these attacks, period, end of discussion, you got to keep those cannons alive. If the cannon cards go down early, then the attack just doesn't work as well. The nice thing about the CCs is that they will work on the crushers and just do a number on them, which is awesome for both your Raged Barbarians and for your battle machine, because it helps keep them alive a little bit longer. And in this particular one, you can see how well it works out. They're shooting over the walls and taking out stuff as the battle machine tries to break through. And that's how he gets his 3-star. Now, I'll admit, I'm nowhere near as good at this as Stuffs. But, hey, I'm getting there, okay? A little bit at a time. moving right along. This was one of my attempts today, and I don't know. I think I did pretty good at it. It's not as good as these guys that can 3-star all day long with it, but I start off by dropping some Raged Barbarians just to take out the wall here, get a hole in it. Of course, they'll deal with the guard post troops. Drop my cannon cards there. Held one of them back. And then I just started to flood the compartment with Raged Barbarians and send in the battle machine to help out with a little bit of tanking. You can see I was a little late getting that battle machine in, and I suffered for it. You know, it definitely hit my cannon carts, and sure as day is long, they ended up with a little bit of a health loss. If I hadn't taken so long to get that battle machine in, I think my cannon carts would have survived a little bit better. But look at the way they're just working their way through. I mean, cannon cart works on first the giant cannon. It's obviously distracted by the battle machine. You got the battle machine working on one of the crushers. The other cannons start to work on the crusher, and the Rage Barbarians are moving their way up. I mean, it's kismet. It all works great. And then at the very end, what do we got left? We got this cannon cart who's just kind of working his way up the line, takes out the Builder's Hall. Like I said, I'm not as good at this as some of the other guys, but I'm satisfied with a 90% 2-star. I was happy to see it. I thought I did pretty good at least. Shifting gears again here, taking a quick look at some air attacks. I emphasize all the time about the importance of base design. And one of our players has been using mass beta minions, and he did really well. Let me pull up his replays real quick. So check this base design out here. You can see that the roaster is sitting on the outside edge of the base. It's inside the base, obviously, but it's all the way on the outside. That is really easy to distract. And if you can distract the roaster, which is a primary problem for all your beta minion attacks, the beta minions can go in and just pretty much take them down, especially if you got a whole bunch. Like he's got, like 10 or 15 of them there, just boom, slams the roaster, takes it out in no time. And then they can just work their way right on up through the base. This is the way mass beta minion is meant to be played. It works on any base that has a key, let's call it anti-beta minion defense sitting on the outside. And if you could kind of wrap them so that they work their way around the outside edges a little bit, and I'm not talking just, circling the base. That would be way too much. But if you can wrap them so they kind of come up around the outside, what'll happen is what you see here. More and more of the base will end up going down until finally at the end you're left with nothing that can touch the beta minions, and the last few beta minions that remain can work on things like the junk buildings like the barracks or maybe army camps or the battle machine pad, things like that. And of course, any defenses that are ground only, like all the various cannons and the crusher. And Roy understands this and works through it on both of these replays. The other thing too, you still see people doing this where they put stuff out in the corners. Mass beta minions, because you start off with 50 of them, you can't go wrong with that. It's the best way to take out all that stuff around the edges. I don't know why people still do that. It's really not good for the long-term defense of the base, but they do it anyway. Once again, what do we see here? Another key defense is on the outside. This one's actually outside of the closed area of the base, sitting all the way out on the top there. You just send the battle machine in and boom, he's got it right away. Doesn't get much better than that. Beta minions work their way up from the bottom, and yeah, he's going to lose a few of them to the air bombs, but it's long since over with by that point. I mean, there's simply nothing left to worry about. And the battle machine will take out a few more things. The beta minions will finish things off. Again, another 3-star replay, and it's simply because of the base design that this particular attack strategy works so very well. The reality is, if you can put in the time on your attacks and really pay attention to what you're doing, you're going to discover that certain bases do better with certain attack strategies, or more to the point, the attack strategies do better with certain bases. Put that in reverse. Like, for example, these big open bases like this one, they work really well with the Bombarian carts or the bark type attack strategies, but also they work really well with your Minion Drops. And you can see here as Jon Snow works his way through, the tanking is obviously important, but it's really important to be able to take out some of those key defenses before you send your battle machine in. I mean, for example, what's the worst thing for the battle machine? Well, number one is obviously the giant cannon. Number two to that is going to be your double cannon, and in this case, you saw he got both of the double cannons as well as a giant cannon out of the way. Now that just leaves cleanup for the battle machine with, I think it was around a minute and a half to almost 2 minutes left in the overall attack. The battle machine can just work his way through everything that's left. There's really nothing here to challenge him. I mean, what's the archer tower going to do? It's like next to nothing. And the same thing goes for just a single cannon, especially since the archer tower and the cannon are outside the range of each other. So as long as you consider that in the base, well, you see the result. Here's a similar base, and I ran this one, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it's same basic thing, take in the drop ships and let them tank while the beta minions come in from behind and slowly but surely work their way up the middle of the base. There's a couple of ways you can come at this particular one. I mean, you can come from the side where the builder hall sits. I like to come up from the bottom and do as much damage as I can first, and then leave the rest of it for the battle machine to work his way through. And this works really well with the higher level troops, especially the higher level battle machine. I mean, I talk about the battle machine a lot, and sometimes I'm not too pleased with it. And yeah, it's until you get a little bit further along, it has limited value. But once you get to this level of play, when you're up in the mid 4,000s, if you have a higher level battle machine, it actually does really well in the cleanup the higher the level of the BM. In this case, mine's level 20. He survives a pretty good long amount of time, even against some of the tougher defenses that you see. I mean, here we've got both double cannons left. We've got the roaster still left. We've got some high hit point structures, namely the clock tower and the air bombs, although the clock tower really doesn't factor in. So it gets a little bit close here, but with the charges, I'm able to pull it off, and it only takes 2 hammer hits on a double cannon to take it out with a level 20 battle machine. So, I'm liking the battle machine at the higher level. It's really worked out well for me over the course of the last several days since I got it. Talking again about base design, we got a couple of new videos coming up over this week here on base design. First, I'm going to talk about where to place your traps, your mines, the hidden Tesla, all the hidden defenses. There's kind of a rationale behind it, and I want to go over that. Why you want to have more open spaces, like the 2x2 squares that nobody will be able to tell. Okay, is the hidden Tesla there? Is the mega mine there? And also having small spaces with one or more of the regular mines as well. And we'll talk about that and how to kind of decide where to put your hidden defenses. And then secondly, I'm going to have another video that just talks about different base designs in general. Like I said, if you've been watching, you've caught 3 different base designs that I run every day on all of my games here on this particular video. And I'm going to put them along with maybe half a dozen others into just a single video. We'll talk a little bit about them, some of the pathing, what makes them work the way they work, why they're good bases versus some others that are not quite as good. You'll see the strong hub thing, and I've talked about this before, where you've got the builder hall in the middle, and then surrounding the builder hall you have your key defenses like the roaster, the giant cannon, the air bombs. And this one's off center, but the multi-mortar is in there. And this is what makes these bases so strong, and you'll see that in each one of the diamond design bases. But I don't want to talk too much about that now. We're going to be talking about that in future videos later on this week. So that's my video for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking around at the very end. And if you've got any comments, questions, whatever, toss them down below. Catch me on the forums or send me an email, knockterror@gmail.com. Happy to answer them. I'll be getting back on here in the next 2 days with some more videos for y'all. In the meantime, take care and keep on clashing. Bye now.